In the business world today, we all know how important our Blackberries are to us. They're our BFFs. We take them everywhere and couldn't get much done without them. And actually, a recent study suggests that if given the choice, some 35% of business travelers would rather pal around with their BlackBerry than their spouse. Just as frightening, 84% of these travelers say they bring their BlackBerry into their bedroom, reading and sending emails, when at the very least, they should be sleeping peacefully next to their partner. So, here at Wenzel, we decide to take our berries into the world we know and love, where we bring families together and create lasting memories. The great outdoors. Barry and Belle started their camping trip extravaganza much like everyone else at Merrimack State Park that day. They went for a stroll and paused to take in the scenery from a local park bench. But they couldn't hang out too long, they had to get to camp. Barry and Belle had a lot of fun and exciting things planned for their camping trip. Once they got to their campsite, first things first, time to set up camp. They had the newest Eddie Bauer Tamarack tent from Target, a real beauty.
Simple setup features made pitching the tent a snap, and weather band technology meant they knew they'd be safe and dry no matter what the elements could bring.
Belle had brought her best skimpy bikini and Barry his one-of-a-kind camo thong. They took a moment to admire their tent, and then to admire each other. Miami. A few hours later, Belle decided to change into a more appropriate swimsuit to do some sunbathing. Until Barry began to melt in the summer heat. They decided quickly to do something that was more active, bike riding. Barry changed into his truck bike gear to go for a ride. He hadn't gotten very far when he realized he had no arms or legs which to steer or pedal, and it ended up in a horrible accident. But Belle scooped him up and brought him back to camp for a little TLC. She snuggled close to him in a 5-pound North Fork rectangular sleeping bag,
with Insulzerm fill for extra warmth in as low as 30-degree weather.
By the time they finished snuggling, Barry was feeling much better. So, they decided they would hit water sports, swimming and fishing. Hanging out by the 100,000-year-old sycamore tree seemed safe and harmless enough. But Barry and Belle craved adventure. They went out a little further and Barry decided to try his hand at fishing. He nabbed a red snapper, but fish weren't the only creatures out in this pond. Barry found himself face to face with a swarm of mutant Lumbricus terrestris. The Lumbricus terrestris overpowered Barry, and before he knew what was happening, he was face down in the water in a sea of worms. So far, Barry and Belle weren't having a very successful trip. Back at camp, Belle had changed into her best Britney Spears outfit and was partying it up with her fellow campers, Betty and Bud Light, as well as Millie Light and her beau Jack Daniels. Now here's an activity Barry and Belle should be able to handle while camping. But wait, where's Barry? Oh well, looks like Barry got sidetracked by a friendly Serta sheep in the woods. Belle hardly noticed. She went back to her Eddie Bauer Tamarack tent
with color-coded pull sleeves, weather band technology, and a 10-year warranty.
Belle decided she was a bit hungry and would like to try her hand at roasting marshmallows over an open fire. What could go wrong with this scenario? Belle quickly realized that, like Barry, she had no arms and needed to get closer to the fire to roast her marshmallow. She leaned in closer and closer until, uh-oh. Enough of this, Belle thought. I'm returning to camp. She headed back and crashed on her comfy raised Instabed
with printed poly cotton top and built-in battery pump, same height as a normal mattress.
Belle awoke the next morning at 6 a.m. to the sound of bullhorns, only to realize it wasn't Barry sleeping next to her. As Belle woke up, she thought, "Bullhorns? What happened to my quiet, peaceful camping trip? The rivers are flooding and we're being evacuated?"
I'm sailing away. Set an open course for the birds.
The moral of our story is, Blackberries can't do it all. Think outside your Blackberry.